Welcome to the Workplace Minute, powered by H3HR Advisors and sponsored by WorkHuman. Thanks for joining me for your quick update on what's important in the world of work. My name is Steve Boese. This week, Americans will gather to celebrate Independence Day. We'll watch fireworks, attend parades, spend time with family and friends, and reflect on the founding ideals of our country. We often think about independence in political terms: freedom, self-government, individual rights, and the enduring promise that each generation can shape its own future. But there's another kind of independence that deserves our attention this week, and it isn't found in history books or speeches, but it's found in offices and factories and hospitals, classrooms, in construction sites, in restaurants, warehouses, and in homes across the country. It's economic independence, and for generations, work has been the primary path to achieving it. And that raises an important question upon which we should reflect. Does work still provide that promise today? This isn't really a political question, it's a workplace question. And it matters to employees wondering about their future, and to business leaders trying to build successful organizations, and to HR professionals who are charged with creating workplaces where people can thrive. As America approaches its 250th anniversary, perhaps there's no better time to ask whether the American dream at work is changing, and what we need to do to ensure that opportunity remains within reach today and for the next generation. For much of our nation's history, work represented far more than just a paycheck. A good job created stability, it made home ownership possible, it allowed families to save for their retirement, send children to college, build wealth over time, and contribute to their communities. Work provided dignity because it gave people the ability to support themselves and their loved ones, and it offered purpose, identity, and a sense that their effort would be rewarded. And underlying all of that is a simple but powerful belief. If you worked hard and continued learning, contributed to your employer and to your community, you had a reasonable chance of improving your life. The American dream was never a guarantee, but it was a promise that opportunity existed. And that promise has always been central to our country's economic strength. America's workforce has been built by generations of people who believed they could create a better future than the one they inherited. Farmers became factory workers, and factory workers became engineers and teachers, and healthcare professionals and entrepreneurs and business leaders. And new immigrants brought skills, determination, and ideas that expanded industries and strengthened communities. And innovation created entirely new professions that previous generations could scarcely imagine. And many of these workers helped fund the educations of their children, enabling them to participate in the ongoing American dream. Opportunity has always been America's competitive advantage. Today, however, many workers are asking whether that opportunity feels as attainable as it once did. Consider the environment many employees are currently navigating. Housing has become increasingly expensive in many parts of the country. Healthcare costs continue to challenge family budgets. Student loan debt remains a reality for millions of workers. Retirement feels less certain for many than it did just a generation ago. And even people who are employed often describe feeling financially stretched despite working full-time. Now, layer on top of those realities is a workplace that's changing at extraordinary speed. Artificial intelligence is transforming jobs faster than many organizations can explain these changes. And companies are investing billions of dollars into AI, while workers understandably wonder what those investments will mean for their own careers. And layoffs continue to make headlines, even as many organizations remain quite profitable. Hiring has slowed in many industries, making changing jobs feel riskier than it has in years. And perhaps the most significant challenge is not any single economic statistic. It is overall uncertainty. Workers can adapt to change. History shows they always have. What is far more difficult is adapting to uncertainty without a clear understanding of where the future is heading and how to best prepare for it. And that uncertainty is becoming one of the defining workplace issues of 2026. One of the themes we've explored frequently on this program this year is trust. Trust in leadership, in technology, trust that AI will augment rather than simply replace human work, and trust that our organizations will continue investing in people even as they invest heavily in automation. The conversations about trust matter because trust and opportunity are deeply connected. People are willing to embrace change when they believe that change creates new opportunities. They become understandably resistant when change feels like something being done to them rather than something being built with them. And that distinction matters. Artificial intelligence itself is not the problem. New technologies have always reshaped work. The steam engine changed work, electricity changed work, computers changed work, the internet. AI will undoubtedly change work as well. The question has never been whether technology changes jobs. The question is whether society, employers, educational institutions, and public policies evolve quickly enough to help workers move into the opportunities that these technologies create. Now, history offers us at least some reasons for optimism. America has repeatedly reinvented its workforce during periods of enormous technological transformation. Entire industries have emerged while others declined. New skills became valuable, new careers appeared, and productivity increased. Living standards generally improved, and generations of workers adapted successfully. But history also teaches us another lesson. These transitions do not happen automatically. An opportunity has to be intentionally created. Workers need education and training, and employers need to invest in developing talent rather than simply looking for it. Public policy needs to encourage innovation while ensuring that workers are able to participate in its benefits. And communities need pathways into these emerging careers. And none of these outcomes happen just because a new technology appears. And perhaps that is why the meaning of economic independence is changing. For previous generations, independence often meant finding one stable employer and building a long career there. Today's workers increasingly define independence differently. Independence now means having adaptable skills. It means continuous learning. It means financial resilience. And it means confidence that if your role disappears, another opportunity will emerge. Increasingly, the American dream is now less about lifetime employment and more about lifetime employability. That evolution is not necessarily negative. In many ways, it reflects the result of a more dynamic economy. But it does place new responsibilities on organizations. If companies expect employees to continuously adapt, organizations must also continuously invest in helping those people grow. If leaders want workers to embrace AI, they should also explain how AI creates opportunity, not simply efficiency. And if businesses expect trust, they must demonstrate that people remain central to their long-term strategy. And this is where HR leadership becomes especially important. Human resources has never been just about policies or compliance. At its best, HR serves as a steward of opportunity inside the organization. It helps people develop new skills, navigate career transitions, access leadership opportunities, and build fulfilling careers. As AI reshapes work, that responsibility only becomes more important. And the organizations that thrive over the next decade will not simply be the ones with the most advanced technology. They will be the ones that become the best at helping people confidently navigate these changes. And confidence grows from opportunity, the opportunity to learn and contribute, to advance, to recover from setbacks, and to build meaningful careers. And there's one more aspect of the American dream that deserves our attention, especially this week. Opportunity in America has never reached everyone equally. Throughout our history, many Americans have faced barriers because of their race, gender, disability, their age, religion, sexual orientation, their gender identity, their national origin, their socioeconomic background, or countless other circumstances that are unrelated to their talent or their potential. And others have encountered obstacles just because they think differently, they learn differently, they communicate differently, or simply follow a different path through life. America's progress has come not from pretending those barriers never existed, but from steadily expanding who gets to participate fully in the opportunities our economy creates. And that work remains unfinished. If we truly believe in the promise of work, then the future of the American dream must be a future where opportunity is available to every capable person who's willing to contribute. It means creating workplaces where individuals are evaluating on their abilities and their character and their effort and their potential. And it means designing technology that is accessible. And it means building organizations that recognize different perspectives are strengths rather than obstacles. And it means ensuring that artificial intelligence helps. The strongest economy is not the one that creates opportunity for a very select few. It is the one that creates opportunity for everyone. That has always been one of America's greatest advantages. When more people are able to contribute their ideas, their creativity, and their talents, our organizations become stronger, and our communities become more resilient, and our economy becomes more innovative. As we celebrate Independence Day this week, it's worth remembering that the promise of work has never simply been employment. It has been opportunity. The opportunity to build a life, the opportunity to support a family, the opportunity to contribute to something larger than ourselves. the opportunity to continue learning, growing, and creating value throughout our lives, and the opportunity to believe that tomorrow can be better than today. Perhaps the most important question employers can ask themselves today is not simply whether they're adopting AI quickly enough or improving productivity fast enough. The better questions are these. Are we expanding opportunity? Are we helping more people build meaningful careers? Are we creating workplaces where every employee can see a future worth investing in? Because when organizations expand opportunity, trust then grows, innovation grows, communities grow, businesses grow, and people become more willing to embrace change because they believe they have a place in the future that's being created. So as America approaches its 250th birthday, perhaps that is one of the most important goals we can set for the future of work. Not simply making work more efficient, not simply making organizations more productive, but making sure that work continues what it has represented for generations of Americans, a pathway to independence, to dignity, and to opportunity. And not just for some workers, but for every worker who's willing to contribute their talents, regardless of their background, their identity, their age, their ability, their life experience. If we can continue to expand that opportunity, then the American dream will remain not just an idea from the past, but one of our greatest ambitions for the future. A big thank you to WorkHuman for supporting today's Workplace Minute. Be sure to subscribe to the HR Happy Hour Network on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. My name is Steve Boese, and this has been the Workplace Minute from H3 HR Advisors.